73 earthquakes hits Switzerland as CERN breaks new particle collision record. More than 100 earthquakes are shaking Switzerland since the CERN ramp up over last 48 hours. Only today, about 73 earthquakes shook Château d'Oex, with a 4.2 quake that was felt over a large part of Switzerland. Following the M4.2 earthquake, some people reported noises and booms after the shaking that lasted between 2 and 10 seconds depending on the location. On June 28, 2017, the CERN broke a new luminosity record for the LHC, in other words, the number of potential collisions per second and per unit of area. Did this enhanced activity at CERN trigger this quake swarm? The LHC, run by the European Organization for Nuclear Research or CERN, is the world's largest and most powerful machine and used to collide particles at close to the speed of light in a bid to discover more about physics and the possibility of parallel universes. Some have already hypothesized that new super high-energy experiments at the CERN Large Hadron Collider could have been responsible for the huge earthquakes that struck in Italy in August and this month. Others claimed this could be the first step in the Genesis project, to restart everything over, another Big Bang, basically. From a saner point of view, groups worry that this could have opened a door to a mirrorverse, causing whatever is over there to merge with our universe. The idea that we live in a multiverse made up of an infinite number of parallel universes has long been considered a possibility. But physicists still disagree about whether it could represent a physical reality or whether it's just a mathematical quirk. It is a consequence of important theories like quantum mechanics, string theory, and inflation. Quantum mechanics oddly states that any particle can exist in superposition, which means it can be in many different states simultaneously, such as locations. This sounds bizarre, but it has been observed in laboratories. For example, electrons can travel through two slits at the same time when we are not watching. But the minute we observe each slit to catch this behavior, the particle chooses just one. That is why, in the famous Schrödinger's cat thought experiment, an animal can be alive and dead at the same time. But how can we live with such strange implications? One way to interpret it is to choose to accept that all possibilities are true, but that they exist in different universes. So, if there is mathematical backing for the existence of parallel universes, is it so crazy to think that the cold spot is an imprint of a colliding universe? Actually, it is extremely unlikely. There is no particular reason why we should just now be seeing the imprint of a colliding universe. From what we know about how the universe formed so far, it seems likely that it is much larger than what we can observe. So even if there are parallel universes and we had collided with one of them, unlikely in itself, the chances that we'd be able to see it in the part of the universe that we happen to be able to observe on the sky are staggeringly small. Another group pointed out that after the experiments they detected a cold spot that is moving from CERN toward the west. Some think this could be a fluxing hole, one that is in and out of phase, collecting heat and energy. A cold region of this size could occur by chance within our standard model of geologic time scale with a 1 to 2% likelihood. While that does make it unlikely, too, it is based on a model that has been well tested, so we cannot rule it out just yet. Another potential explanation is in the natural fluctuations in mass density, basically the earthquakes, which give rise to the cold spot's temperature fluctuations. We know these exist on all scales, but they tend to get smaller toward large scales, which means they may not be able to create a cold region as big as the cold spot. But this may simply mean that we have to rethink how such fluctuations are created. However, we have never seen one of this size. It seems that the cold spot in the ground will continue to be a mystery for some time. Although many of the explanations out there seem unlikely, we don't necessarily have to dismiss them as pure fantasy. And even if it takes time to find out, we should still expect the worst as the earthquakes grow stronger around the world. We are living in a strange world, with strange people from places across the mirror. Alice once asked why they are here. What do they want? What's the deal with the rabbit and time anyway? Stay paranoid, my friends.